And speaking of the Cardinals, that's how we're going to kick off.
Yeah.
Our Give Me the Headlines presented by Hyundai. There it is.
There it is.
Give me the headlines. Thank you, Hyundai. We'll start with the Cardinals defeating the Vikings 34-33. There was a kick to win it by the Vikings at the end. Greg Joseph, 37-yard field goal. All he had to do was kick it to make that 37-yard field goal, and you win. And here, Kristen, do we have the call of Paul Allen of the Vikings on that last-second field? This is the Vikings announcer on the missed field goal.
High snap, put down. Joseph, come on! It is gone! No, he missed it. Good. Are you kidding me? He missed it right.
He missed it right.
Oh, my heavens.
Oh, my.
He missed it right.
What a gut punch to a team. Ball that play after play toward the end fought its way back.
Oh, missed it by like a foot.
Like I am more depressed.
I mean, that's the headline, right? It's good. Oh no, that's the headline for that. There we go. So that's your Hyundai headline for that right there.
And I feel bad for Paul. He'll never be able to live that. Great broadcaster, right? And
he's amazing.
I've made more mistakes in this podcast probably than he has in his whole career. So it's like you're going to have those every once in a while, but the raw emotion, and that's the life of like a Vikings fan here, it seems like lately. It's like things seem to be going in the right direction, and then the rug is pulled out from under your feet. And so,
two
crazy.
heartbreakers in a row for them.
But I think the better team won this game, right? Give credit to the Vikings.
Yeah.
They were in it.
No doubt.
I think the Cardinals were better.
I do too. I got the same sense there. You know, of course, the pick six by Kyler Murray to start the second half was a huge play. The second half of the football game, Arizona controlled the game, I thought, for the most part. You know, and then when we had two picks in the second half of that game, right? He threw that, and then he had the other one a little later on where they were driving. He threw the ball to Xavier Woods for another interception. But, you know, the Cardinals, the offense and weapons look phenomenal. Like that's the one thing I think that just jumps out to me. You know, and again, I want to go back and see versatility of offense. It was something, again, that jumped out to me a little bit the first week, and just again on TV yesterday to go, wait, they got a few more, you know, a little more hay in the barn this year. There's a few more plays to pick from, a few more different formations.
Is that a saying? Hay? There's more hay in the barn?
I think there is.
That
is a saying. I don't know if I use it correctly, but hay and I don't think I use it.
No, he doesn't think. Pete's saying no.
But, you know,
for
here, there's more plays in the playbook, as in there's more hay in the barn, right? Okay? It's a Simpsons.
I mean, it is
okay?
now. It's a saying.
We're going with
it.
Yeah. We are. But they're dangerous as hell. I guess I was a little surprised that Minnesota ran the ball the way they did on Arizona to start the football game. I mean, man, Dalvin Cook, he's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and it is a good offensive line as far as run game blocking by the Minnesota Vikings. But ultimately, yeah, I'm with you. The Cardinals were the better team. They made a lot of big plays. But having said all of that, I mean, they blew some opportunities to put the game away in the second half, and the Vikings were sitting there with a chip shot field goal that should have won the game.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, so the Cardinals were better, but they kind of blew it in their own right. I mean, you know, lucky to win a game when you lose the turnover battle 2-0. And that was a chippy. I mean, and Paul Allen, you got to look at the monitor and look at the end zone cut. That would be one thing I would tell him. You got to always, field goal kicker, you got to do that for sure.
How terrible when you're listening on the radio, for that 3 seconds, you're like, we did it. We won. He's saying it. And then, no, you didn't do it. Damn okay. Raul Del Toro, 15, says for Danielle Hunter, getting to Kyler Murray for
3 sacks, right?
3 sacks. Yeah. Very well done. I don't know if that'll ever happen again. That's pretty amazing. But, yeah, this game featured my favorite play of Sunday, and that was that with Minnesota up to 6 minutes left, Arizona with the ball at the Minnesota 41, 4th and 5. Minnesota sends 7 rushers, and Kyler Murray just goes back foot, fade away.
Christian Kirk,
right. 35-yard gain. There is no other play that I liked. Maybe the Damian Harris run, that was pretty cool, where he's breaking a bunch of tackles.
Right.
But, I mean, 4th and 5, if you don't get that play, you might be screwed. Minnesota's got the ball on the 41.
No doubt.
And to be able to complete that and just throw that with that accuracy, fading away. That was a severe fadeaway.
No, severe fadeaway. Understood that what the pressure was.
Yes.
And that's, again, where they're dangerous. Because when you talk about, you're going to, blitz or pressure and leave Kirk and Rondale Moore
one-on-one
and Hopkins one-on-one. Like you're going to lose one of those matches. AJ Green looked good yesterday, and I do think Vance Joseph will get that defense right. I mean, hey, listen, if there's something about their defense, it's incredibly athletic and the front seven and all that. I don't know if it's incredibly big. That's maybe what we saw yesterday.
Yeah.
That between the tackles, they can maybe be pushed around a little bit. But all in all, that was a phenomenal play. Hey, listen, even the Rondale Moore 74-yard touchdown was an amazing play.
Okay.
Yeah, it was obviously a blown coverage, but there was an unblocked rusher off the edge. He makes the guy miss like it's just nothing. Like, oh, yeah, no problem. You won't even touch me. You won't even get a fingernail on me. And then he, scrambles outside the pocket, and, there was a blown coverage there. But, it's just those type of plays that make them so crazy. There's a lot of plays with Arizona where schematically you go, wait, this shouldn't work, and you go, it worked for 40 yards. It worked for 30 yards. And that just, I think, speaks to the unbelievable talent they've accumulated on the roster, and that's all Steve Keim right there. There's something else I wanted to say about this game.
All right, save
in
it
general.
For Wednesday.
I know, I can't
Wednesday.
remember exactly what it was, but okay, we got it. We got it all.
We got more headlines to dole out.
Yeah.
We got to give one for the Buccaneers, who disposed of the Falcons, who came back late. Give them credit. I like to give teams credit that lose.
Because,
I can see that.
Like,
and they probably they need that.
Yeah.
Like they're listening to the podcast and they go, "Hey, Ahmed gave us credit." Like, that's cool. Buccaneers beat the Falcons 48-25. What would be your headline here?
Wait, I wrote this down. Let me just make sure I get it. Oh, that's right. This is what they've a little bit become like the Kansas City Chiefs a little, where I cruise control.
Cruise control.
They put that big pirate ship on cruise control sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of have a feel right now of like the Chiefs did the last few years, where it's just like, oh, we'll step on the gas. Oh, we took our foot off and relaxed it. Oh, we got to step back on it. Oh, no problem. Okay. Oh, boom, bing, boom, boom, boom. Touchdown. Oh, yeah. Hey, we stepped on the gas again. We're ready to play.
Yep.
I mean, they're amazing that way. And it goes for both sides of the ball, the defense too. Yeah, they took a huge lead in the football game. I mean, Brady was amazing early on.
Yep.
I mean, they were just dicing up the Falcons defense. And, enough of a run game, just controlling the football game. And then, I think they got a little conservative on the offensive side of the ball. Defense loses a little intensity. They play a little conservative. I mean, what was it, 28-10 at one point? And all of a sudden the Falcons get back in it, but they reassess and put the clamps down, and then they just whoop that ass to end the game.
Yep, they did. Brady, fourth straight regular season game with 4 or more touchdown passes. He had 5 in this one.
Yeah, I mean, he's got another one. Derek Carr and him are fighting it out for MVP of football right now through 2 weeks.
And Tom Brady has Rob Gronkowski, who caught 2 more touchdowns after catching 2 touchdowns in week 1 and 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, correct? And
yeah.
Gronk and Brady are back. Like, what year is this?
I know. It is. It's just another team like we just talked about, like the Cardinals. It's just too hard to match up with everything they have, let alone they still have that power run game element that you have to respect. Mm-hmm. So you look at that, and poor Matt Ryan, he looked like he was under duress for a lot of the football game. He took a lot of hits. And the Bucs, I know they got the 2 pick sixes at the end of the football game.
Yeah,
off
Mike Edwards.
Yeah, you got both of them, right?
Yeah.
The Bucs got their hands on a lot of balls at the line of scrimmage yesterday. That was one thing, that a lot of tip passes from Matt Ryan, or just throwing into tight windows. But either way, that Bucs team is phenomenal, and they're not going anywhere.
Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh made life very difficult for the Atlanta running game, and
no running game.
No running game.
That's why I just was like, I don't know what anybody was talking about with Atlanta, like 8 wins this year. Like, what?
Yeah.
What about that
Matt
offensive
Ryan
line?
again.
It is. Like, everyone just saw Calvin Ridley, Matt Ryan, and Pitts, and we're like, in fantasy, that's good. So in real life, that's good.
Yeah.
And no, it's not. There's nobody special on defense. The offensive line's not very special. The running backs are not special. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to win the game and win a lot of games with 3 people. I'm sorry, and that's tough.
Just crushed Atlanta right there.
I know. Sorry, Atlanta. Sorry.
Okay.
I got faith for the future going forward. They're in a rebuild mode.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years down the road, they might be a 500 team. Bears against the Bengals. Speaking of 500 teams or worse, the Bears against the Bengals. They did get the win here. 20-17. What's your headline for that one?
Bears Bengals is if you build it, he will come.
Oh,
Fields
of dreams.
Justin.
Okay. So he played because Andy Dalton went down with an injury.
Unfortunate.
His number's not great.
No.
6 of 13, 60 yards. Really bad interception late where it's just like you need to protect the ball at all costs. And he basically just deposited it right into the Bengals linebacker's stomach. But after that, though, it's the opposite. Next drive
makes a great
run to get the first down, and then ices the game.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the running special. And again, hey, everybody, my questions about Justin Fields. Again, a little not saying it's Jalen Hurts, but a little the same thing. I have the same question. When it's NFL regular season football, is he going to be able to throw it into tight windows from within the pocket? I know he's going to be able to make a few runs and everything like that every game because he's too special of an athlete that way. But I think anybody watching the game yesterday, those are legitimate questions, but I'm not being overly critical. Again, we got to remember, too, he didn't get to practice all week with the first team and have legitimate reps. That's not easy for a young quarterback to just get thrown out there in that. And also, they didn't get the game plan around him. So if he is the starter this week and Andy Dalton can't play, they're going to change the approach and how they play on the offensive side of the football that fits him. And, of course, you're going to see more of the run game element from the quarterback and that threat there. Hey, put your ring back on.
I did that. Yeah.
I think that's what, a few people were like, well, see, this is why you sit him. Well, first off, come on, relax here. The offense stunk is not that great anyways. Mm-mm. He kind of had to run the Andy Dalton game plan because that's what they had set forth. And let's give it a chance and see where it goes from here. But the Bears were, in my opinion, listen, they played good yesterday. Their defense stepped up. I don't know, I got the feel during the game that they were a little bit fortunate to win the game as well.
Sure.
With some stupid Joe Burrow mistakes that he usually doesn't make.
Yeah. Yeah, they did have that one hookup, Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase
again. A deep one, right?
Where the two Bears defenders at the end ran into each other and flipped each other over.
Yeah,
that was really
cool. That was kind of cool. Exactly.
But yeah, the Bears win this game, and just everyone wants Justin Fields to play.
Right.
I'm to the point where I think Andy Dalton probably wants. Because it's he doesn't want to get booed anymore. Andy Dalton is just put in Justin Fields.
Yeah, I'm sure he's exhausted by it to a degree. I don't doubt that at all, that he's exhausted by it.
And he will play a lot, and he'll be fun to watch Justin Fields. I'm excited to see him
But
progress.
He threw, at one point, Joe Burrow, 5 straight passes.
Oh, yeah.
3 were intercepted.
Yes.
First three in a row were intercepted, and then he threw 2 touchdown passes. He had 5 straight passes. It was 3 interceptions, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he made some uncharacteristic mistakes, too. I mean, the pick 6 down the middle, he just didn't see Roquan Smith.
Right.
Kind of floating around there. So that was certainly a huge play in the football game.
If you look at that play again, it did look like
He had Boyd kind of in the middle of the field, right?
Yeah, and T. Higgins on the right sideline, and so there were open receivers on that play.
I know.
That was
he
a concerning one.
Got locked in there a little bit, and of course, again, I don't expect them to be hitting on all cylinders either. Joe Burrow's not quite himself.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, so we'll see. And the Bears defense, that's to me going to be one of the keys to them going forward. If they can play like that. And just, be formidable. They don't have to be the best defense in football. And then you got Justin Fields playing. You can run the ball, control the clock. The Bears will be a pain in the butt to try to beat that way.
Yeah, should give a damn okay to Roquan for that pick 6, had 8 tackles, had a quarterback hit, tackle for a loss.
Yeah.
He's a key cog on that defense for the Bears. That could be one of the better ones in the league this year. We got one more headline for you. Broncos defeat the Jaguars 23-13.
Aggressive. B-E aggressive. B-E-A-G-G-R-E-S-S-I-V-E. Aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive. That's great. I love that.
Right,
that took me right back to my high school gymnasium.
Oh, it's the best, right?
I didn't know how it ended, but we'll have to practice that again.
You know why I want to say that, right? I'm pulling up the stats of this football game. Because this, to me...
Your guy Teddy.
Exactly. Is the only thing that has held back Teddy Bridgewater in his career to a degree. It's just... being too conservative. And what we've seen in 2 weeks is Teddy B going, I'm going to throw bombs down the field. It's Teddy Bombshell so far.
13 passes of 20 or more yards downfield this season, tied with Trevor Lawrence, good for him, and Josh Allen for the most in the NFL.
Wow. And I would bet you that his completion percentage on those passes is better than those two right now. So he's probably the most efficient down the field thrower to go along with it.
So in the last game, for passes that were 10 or more yards down the field, he was 4 of 10. So not a great percentage, but 117 yards.
Well,
so that's
huge.
all you need.
See, that's why I don't give a shit about completion percentage.
Correct.
You know, that changes a football game right there. Well, we had 4 completions for, 27, 28 yards apiece. That changes a football game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd rather see that than, well, he was 9 for 11 for 87 yards, and we had to kick 4 64-yard field goals. Like, no, that's not going to win games. I mean, it's going to win some of them, but, yeah, I think it's really encouraging to see. And ultimately, it's what their team is set up to do. And that's where, I was saying Drew Lock's the guy because I didn't know if Teddy could do this, in training camp and in preseason. But they have a good run game. They're going to make people respect it. And when you got those weapons on the outside, they're going to have a bunch of plays or a handful of plays every game that are going to lead to one-on-one shots, and they got to take advantage of it. And he should. I mean, his numbers should be even better than what they are down the field. I mean, even like last week against the Giants, he had the wide-open post drop by K.J. Hamler in the end zone that ultimately led to Jerry Jeudy getting hurt a few plays later and his hurt high ankle sprain. But, Denver's, again, they're one of those teams. I know I didn't pick them to go to the playoffs, but I know I've been saying watch out for them. There's a lot of things. What? I got a beeping in my ear.
Yeah, I got a beep in my ear, too, there.
Yep.
Oh, it's gone now.
Oh, it went away. Good. Okay.
You know who did pick him to go to the playoffs?
Ahmed Fareed, baby. Woo!
Which I'll say now because they're 2-0, and I'll stop saying
them
it
and the
once they
Raiders
lose.
Are leading the AFC West.
Crazy, right?
That's
why
crazy.
football's so fun.
It's awesome.
We don't know. We have no idea what's going to happen from week to week.
No, and it's early on in the year, and it's about matchups early on. Teams are finding their footing, but I think there's a lot to be encouraged with the Broncos. The defense, they were kind of sleepwalking early. The whole football team. I felt like the Jags went on probably their best drive of the season to start the game. Lawrence threw an unbelievable go route down the right sideline to Marvin Jones. It was one of the best throws of the day. I will say the same thing I said about Trevor Lawrence this week as I did last week. There are too many throws that are missed at times where I just go, damn, he's too good to miss that throw. But either way, it's going to be an uphill battle for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
They've lost 17 straight now after a loss to the Broncos here. Good way to wrap up. Give me the headlines presented by Hyundai. Hyundai's gonna be happy. They're going to be happy with that segment.
They should.
They're going to look at that.
It.
Like like the way I picture it, a bunch of executives in a room, and they're like, "Let's check out the Simms Hyundai segment."
Right.
And they'll watch that one, and they won't be blown away by it, but they'll be like, "That's money well spent."
No. Money well spent. I think they're actually going to call the cities we did, too, and they're like, Chicago, we got a headline for you. If you build it, he will come.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Be aggressive, Denver?
Yeah.
Denver Post? That should be your headline tomorrow.
Yeah, spell it out. No, I think you're right. And Pete says a standing ovation. So
standing
Pete,
ovation.
Yeah, Pete is even more on board.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.